And welcome back. Now, one of the world's leading international advocacy organizations, Global Citizens, will in the next week see its second annual Global Citizens Now Summit. This will set a global agenda for action on the most urgent issues, including climate change, the global food crisis, gender inequality, protecting activists, and more. Taking place in New York City on April 27 and 28, the Global Citizen Now will convene government leaders, private sector executives, grassroots activists, cultural innovators, philanthropic experts, and leading journalists for a dynamic two-day event. For more on this, we're joined by actress, philanthropist, global citizen ambassador, and host of one of these events, Nomzamo Mbatha, who's out and about in the sun in LA, as she says. How are you, Nomzamo?
I'm fantastic. Tabitha, how are you?
Good, making us envious. So tell us about this. This year's Global Citizen Prize, I believe it highlights activists across 4 categories. And I want to talk about the significance of these areas, but also particularly for you, given some of the work that you've been doing.
Well, I mean, for me, philanthropy and activism work is second nature. It's my true north. It's my true calling. The relationship with Global Citizen began many years ago, and it continues to grow. And what I love about Global Citizen is that it not only highlights the work of activists around the world, but it implores every single human being on this earth to also take up arms in whichever corner of society that they occupy to make a true change. And I think Global Citizen Prize does exactly that, you know, in terms of just highlighting the work, but also celebrating. You know, when you're in the space of humanitarian work, it's a lot of hard work. And so when you have organizations such as Global Citizen to highlight that work, but also to celebrate and to honor and uplift and shine an even brighter light, for me, it's one of the greatest honors to be able to stand on that stage and host that event.
And it's so great to hear you say that bit about, you know, philanthropic work and how much hard work it is, because being in service is not necessarily driven by recognition. And I'd like you to share with me, Nomzamo, just the change makers that the campaign highlights. What have you been exposed to? People who ordinarily would not be recognized. And also please share with me about your Lighthouse Foundation, for instance, what it does and how it facilitates in this kind of thing.
Well, some of the honorees for tomorrow are just incredible human beings who are just doing insanely brilliant work. I mean, the person who's going to be receiving the Youth Leadership Award, he's from Zimbabwe. His name is Nkosana Butelenkoso, and the work that he does in terms of STEM and making education accessible, especially in the most marginalized and vulnerable areas, I think for me, especially since living in the 4th Industrial Revolution right now, is just incredible work. And so, you know, the work that the honoree tomorrow will receive also a cash prize of $250,000 to be injected within their organization. And so that's going to go even further and make sure that, you know, there's a lasting legacy to the work that he's doing. There's an incredible young woman, Pakshma, as well, who's just insanely brilliant at the work that she does. In terms of the Lighthouse Foundation, I always kind of shy away because, you know, when you're in the work of service, it's a labor of love. So you kind of have to put on the hat of speaking about the work that you do. So I'm going to try and do it in the most humble way possible. So the Lighthouse Foundation motto is simple. It is to lift the lid of invisibility in society's most marginalized and most vulnerable areas. And what we do is we continue to have our back to school campaign every single year. We target 1,000 learners across South Africa who do not have school uniforms, who do not have school shoes. The reason why we also wanted to do that is because we want to restore the dignity of the child. And I know for me, you know, growing up, having my pair of school shoes for the year, just a brand new pair, what that did for me, and just, you know, the self-worth and self-esteem in going into school. So we have that. We also have our winter drive, and our winter drive targets elderly-headed homes and child-headed homes. We also have our bursary students. I like to say that every year is graduation season for the Lighthouse Foundation. We have so many of our students who are partnered with another organization that I won't name, but what they've done is that they've given us 10 learners that we can be able to take through college who are going to be doing the STEM disciplines. And then we also have Hollywoodettes who continue to just inject and continue to support the Lighthouse Foundation. So
and that's what I want to get into.
Students.
Nomzamo, because there's a lot of clout behind this work. You say you don't want to pat yourself on the back, but I think through the work that you've done, the achievements which have been seen and are being celebrated by global citizens, by making you one of the ambassadors, that certainly is being illuminated. And that's why I want to talk about this prestigious ceremony that's taking place in New York. Quite a lot of well-known names, celebrities, but there are also influential people there. We're talking about activists, we're talking about governments. Talk to me a little bit about this, what this means, this event for you personally, but also generally, how it's going to drive the agenda.
Well, I think Global Citizen Prize is truly the heart of what Global Citizen aims to do. You know, we were having a Teams meeting the other day with the Global Citizen team, and they said, every single person that walks on the stage of Global Citizen Prize is an activist in some way or form. And I think that's really just the heart of the work that Global Citizen continues to do, you know, to continue to shine the light on people who are making a change, because they also make such an incredible change by holding government in what's the word I'm looking for? But to hold government accountable, to say that these are the people that you have promised, these are the things that you have said you're going to do. In fact, we're still behind, you know, and I love that now we've changed that, you know, we're aiming to end extreme poverty within 20 years or 10 years. No, we want to end extreme poverty now. And so when we're gathered in the room at the Global Citizen Prize and also for Global Citizen Now, those are the kinds of issues, those are the kinds of actions that we want not only government to take, but also ordinary citizens.
All right, Nomzamo, before we run out of time, so speaking about promises, I've did a little bit of snooping in your Insta account. So you promised us a few things. You're going to tell us about your teaming up with Bruce Willis, and also tell us about the Shaka Zulu story, Shaka Ilembe, that's coming to our screen. So tell our viewers, our supporters of yours back here at home, what are we looking for from you over the next couple of days, weeks? You let us in on the big scoop.
What a big year for little Nomzamo. I'm very excited, honestly. I'm excited for people to see Assassin coming out in cinemas, I think on the 5th of May. So you get to go and see me in action with Mr. Bruce Willis. This is his final film, and I had the incredible honor of shooting so many days with him in so many weeks. So I'm really excited for everyone to see it. Some people have already seen it, so thank you so much for the support. And of course, I cannot post anything on social media these days without my comments being flooded. When is Shaka coming out? Well, tomorrow we get to drop the official trailer, and I'm very excited. It has been a labor of love of 7 years of working with Bomb Shelter to bring this story to life. We're so fortunate to have a talented cast, just incredible. So I'm excited for everyone to see it. 18th of June, the world will get to see Ushaka Zulu, Ushaka Ilembe.
Well, we look forward to that, and you back here at home to introduce it to us, Nomzamo Mbatha. Thank you so much. She is a philanthropist, actor, activist, as well as a global citizen ambassador.